Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all fandoms, welcome to the Ferret and Raccoon podcast, episode 79. I am the Angry Raccoon.
And I'm Recess.
And we are back, first podcast of 2018. I bought the boy Recess.
Hey.
It's been too long.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, exactly. Happy New Year. That's the first thing we got to talk about is Happy New Year's, and hope everyone had a good Christmas. I think one of the main reasons why I have Recess on the podcast, because for those of you who listened to the previous one, it was just me. And I would figure possibly enough people are probably sick of my voice by now. So, I just wanted to have a break from me, basically, to some extent. So I'm hoping that, Ace and Ferret are kind of still on holiday, so they'll be back the next podcast. So things should definitely be back to a normalish kind of thingy, but we still got some things we've got to take care of regarding 2017. But Recess, how's things been?
Hey, it's been good. Started a new job. Started October, November.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting familiar with that, really.
Yeah, because it's a big catch-up for you since the previous podcast, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to things to come this year.
Oh, yeah, you got to stay positive.
Or try to, right?
Yeah.
Apart from that, just keeping busy, really.
I mean, how was the Christmas and the New Year's Day partying celebration, that kind of stuff?
It was good. So Christmas was in Oxford at my nan's. Family was round, very chilled, relaxed. Okay. Did not do anything.
Oh, that's good.
Basically, Nintendo Switch every day. So that was cool.
That's the new life right there.
Yeah, right. And then New Year's was just chilled at home. So yeah,
Nintendo Switch every day.
Exactly.
All day.
Right.
Didn't even look at the clock when it hit midnight.
Nope.
You're like, no, I've got to beat this boss in Zelda.
Exactly. Zelda. So yeah, really loving that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm. But everything's been good for the most part for you.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear. Mine was kind of chill as well. Kind of had a weird Christmas where we didn't really open the initial present straight away, because I do have younger siblings, so they're a little bit more inclined to be interested in the Christmas. We didn't actually end up opening our presents until about, I think it was 1:45.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was literally no, we're gonna go grandma's for the Christmas dinner, and it was like, no, let's just quickly open the presents real quick. It was that, and then New Year's Day was kind of very weird because unfortunately one of my family members is in the hospital, so we're kind of going back and forth looking after them. They're perfectly okay right now, but it was a bit of a kind of scary moment because it literally happened right after Christmas.
Damn.
And literally there was a point where I thought I was going to be on my own for pretty much the whole of New Year's Day, and I was literally just sitting there doing something I'm about to talk about in a sec while watching Batman the Animated Series on New Year's Eve, just oh, okay. Like you do. But yeah, it was kind of a weird moment, but other than that, I've just been generally pretty good. I've kind of been in a weird kind of, it's kind of hard to explain. I kind of been describing it as I'm kind of remastering everything in my life for the most part. I'm literally remastering the first few podcasts of this series in order to re-upload them as download links for the new YouTube channel, which I don't think you know about, Recess, but I have. We're expanding things and we're changing things and moving things everywhere. So we have 2 new YouTube channels that basically is where the podcast is going to reside. That's going to be on the channel Raccoon's AV Club. Mm-hmm. And then all my other kind of heavier edited stuff is going to go on my other channel, which is Raccoon's Media Club.
Oh, so what, are they all set up?
They exist, let's just say.
Cool.
But if you guys want to go and subscribe to that, I'm going to put a link in the description and the download link, because one thing I didn't specify on the previous podcast was that after episode 80, the podcast will no longer be on the Angry Raccoon 1 channel. They're going to be on Raccoon's AV Club channel. So go and subscribe to that for the time being. But I will give you guys plenty of warning before that actually happens. So it's not as if you won't be able to type in the podcast itself and not find it, or if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know when it is up there, because I know most people don't even watch it on YouTube. They possibly just download it, which is fine. That's how things roll. But yeah, everything's kind of in that weird remastering sense, with my room and just a life and getting things organized, and even because 2018 is a pretty important year for me, for reasons that will become clear as the year goes on, hopefully, But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. Not really been doing much, but I will say new videos are coming. I have a ton of videos planned. It's going to be on that new channel, and yeah, official work starts the day this podcast goes up, which is the 8th. So
Exciting
look forward
stuff.
to this. Yeah, they're mostly going to be 2017 eccentric, with one very weird one possibly going up as well, but we'll see. I'm planning to have them all done. Well, one of them can't actually be finished until I don't want to hint at it or spoil it. One of them can't really be finished until kind of after March, because I can't physically finish it then, but everything else should be up before March. But we'll just have to see how things go. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. That's good to hear. People have been busy, and that, well, you have been busy. All that. I know Ace and Ferret are keeping themselves busy for the most part. But yeah, it's all good. But we also got to catch up on things regarding last year and right now in terms of the topics we're going to talk about. And I believe I have the first one, which is going to be the trailer for Ocean's 8.
Da-da-da.
I guess you could make that sound, but yeah, I mean, Ocean's, I kind of knew about this one for a while because it's kind of coming off the whole bandwagon of this time it's women.
Yeah.
And which is essentially, I thought it was a bandwagon that is essentially dying thanks to the Ghostbusters remake. And
I actually forgot about that.
Good. We should all forget about that film, much like I think Sony probably wants to forget about it. And I would much prefer, if you're gonna kind of go with the whole pandering or the malicious intent of how people want to go about marketing women, especially in films, at least do it pander to things. It's hard to explain. At least make a good film that doesn't have to kind of dibble dabble in all that kind of malicious intent for in order to cause some kind of negative reaction to obtain a positive reaction. For the most part, films like Hidden Figures, for example, I don't think it's the greatest film of all time, but I give that film props for actually just being a film about a pretty damn interesting topic.
Exactly.
But yeah, surprisingly enough, this trailer was okay. I thought it didn't really seem to kind of have that that flavor. Like, oh my god, this time it's with women.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of obvious that calling it Ocean's 8, they want to do a trilogy.
Yeah.
Because the next film is 11, and then 12, and then 13. So if this film bombs, then boy, is that going to be awkward.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it so far, Recess?
I mean, watching the trailer, it looked like a very comedic film. And I was thinking, was Ocean's 11, 12, 13, did they have comedic elements to it? I really can't remember.
So are you essentially saying it's more like more of a comedy? From the trailer,
comedy. It looks like it could just be a comedy. Obviously, I guess it's action.
Well, we didn't really see too much action.
But no, exactly. So I think they played a lot of the part on the laughs. So from that, I'm not sure where the film's going to go.
Yeah, because we initially seeing the setup and the recruiting for the most part, and we don't even see the actual heist. Exactly. Yeah. Which kind of brings me to a point I'm going to make slightly later, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I kind of hope it's not just going on the whole. There's that weird, somewhat comedic phrase where it's oh, women can be funny too,
right?
And that's kind of how it was kind of cut, where it's we just want to make sure that you guys know that women are funny.
Yeah.
And it was kind of you don't need to do that. Anyone with a brain cell knows that women can be funny. Anyone can be funny.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre. I mean, one thing I do like about this film, because I think it just looks okay for the most part, was the casting.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised with the casting for the most part. Weird picks like James Corden. No idea why this man keeps showing up in films.
I wasn't expecting him to be there, to be fair.
No, I don't know why he's there. I mean, whatever. Doesn't really bother me too much. And then you have Anne Hathaway, which was really interesting because she's basically playing herself.
Right.
Basically being a pretentious asshole. And I was like... now when you get situations like this, I always get confused whether it's is that person so full of themselves that they can't realize that someone is literally making fun of them, or do they know? Are they like, oh yeah, this role is perfect for me? I'm like, because Anne Hathaway does kind of come with the same kind of come with the tendency of, oh, I'm a fantastic actress, I'm all this, I'm all that. She's kind of gone downhill in terms of a human being in the last couple years, and it's just kind of like interesting that you would portray her as a pretentious celebrity, much like she is in real life. It was the same thing with Seth MacFarlane in Sing, because he was in that film and he played a nasty piece of work character, and I was like, a little bit like Seth Rogen himself. Now I wonder, did they get him to do that role because they know he's an arsehole, or does he not know that people perceive him as arsehole, or is he just like, oh man, I'm the perfect role for this character? I was like, stuff like that's weird.
Exactly.
It's weird, and I don't know, but
But I'm guessing the paychecks are speaking.
Possibly.
More to them.
Well, I don't know. With her, I don't know. I guess, like I said, I think she's probably just going, oh, it's the perfect role for me, you know, that kind of thing. She probably just doesn't know that everyone's laughing at her, maybe, kind of, depending on the exact tent. But I mean, we've also got like some people like Cate Blanchett. I'm happy to see her. She's a great actress, and you have
especially at the role that, like, her character. Like, admittedly, I haven't really watched many films with her in it.
Yeah.
But it just seems so different to what she would have done.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot more wilder roles as well. Like, she was the main villain in Thor Ragnarok. Which I wouldn't have expected to see her, of all people, in a Marvel film. But then again, it could be said that I think almost everyone is going to star in a Marvel film at this rate.
Right.
I mean, 2023, get ready for me. You know, I'm going to my debut role.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. I'll be there. Don't worry. Yeah, and I was kind of surprised to see her, as well as Maidali Carling. I always get her name pronounced. I'm happy to see her in more roles, because I think she's a pretty funny person, because women can be fun. No, I'm joking. But happy to see her in more roles. And as well, we also have Rihanna flexing her acting chops once again.
I wonder if she has a big role. Like,
she must do if she's part of the main team.
But she, like, even in the trailer, she had like 2 lines. I'm like, okay. Didn't really see much of her acting.
I was getting more that her character is more like the tech kind of behind the scenes kind of. I'd imagine most of her lines are going to be speaking lines in a dark room lit by a computer. She's going, I hacked the mainframe, or something like that. There's most likely going to be a dance scene involving her where she needs to distract the guard. That's my guess, because Rihanna is a brilliant dancer, so why not? You got someone who can somewhat act well and a good dancer and singer, so might as well. It's coming though. There's gonna be the scene where it's like, oh, it's fashion show now that we need to dress up, and we need someone to distract the guards, and you know, Rihanna, or I think she's called 8 Ball or something like that in the trailer, is gonna be like, oh, I got this, you know, gets whatever outfit, and it's like you know, some cartoon stuff right there. But
speaking of though, so I remember, what was it? They had that fashion like gala thing to go to, and then they're trying to steal the necklace.
Yeah.
Do you think with this movie they're going to capture Ocean's 11 fans?
No.
Or so I'm like, okay.
And the reason why is my biggest problem with this film is that it compared to Ocean's 11, which is the only one I've seen. I've seen half of 12, and I haven't really seen 13. Yeah. It's very flat, and it's visually like uninteresting. Yeah. And you know, compared to that one, which had a sense of style, a sense of pacing, kind of like a very stylistic kind of what we'd consider heist or spy or kind of action, you know, Italian Job. Even the Mission Impossible films and the James Bond films have kind of adopted that style of like the cool spy, like the cool job, you know. It's not there. And I think if they would have added something like a striking bit of cinematography, like editing, or, you know, visually, like make it slightly more brighter, interesting shots, anything, it would help it stand out. But here it's not. I think people are just going to write this off as, and I hate to say this, another film with just like a female cast. Yeah. Even if it does end up just being a comedy heist kind of film, and that is the bigger problem. I think it's just nothing, because this could be a good film. It just looks bland as hell. Like I struggle to remember scenes. I just kind of remember the lines. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of a detriment. I mean, because I don't really mind them doing. I'd much rather them do Ocean's 14 rather than 8, because I don't see why you have to make it a pseudo prequel, because that's kind of what you're implying, despite the fact it takes place before, which is a bit dumb. And also the mention of Taylor Swift was incredibly aggravating because it was like, why do you need to bring up such trash? Like,
is she gonna be in it?
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope not.
I
hope it was just a name drop.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't need any more attention. Yeah, but I mean, whatever. I know mums and daughters are definitely going to go out and see this film, so I guess they can tell us whether it was good, and they can tell us whether we were sexist for not liking it. Because if you don't like a film with a woman in it, you are a sexist immediately.
Brilliant.
You know, every film with an all-female cast is fantastic and the best film ever.
Yeah.
Simply, much like any film with a whole black cast in it. If you don't like it, you are racist. Simply put.
Just.
If you didn't like Get Out, racist. You are a racist because you didn't like it. Just proves that you're a racist.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you don't
confirmation.
If you don't go see Black Panther, racist. Simply put, and that's how messed up the world works. Pretty much. Speaking of world, that brings us to our next one, which is The End of the Fucking World. Which is
this was interesting.
An original Netflix series, and I had some issues with this trailer. I'll be honest, I think this looks like garbage.
Okay.
Simply put, it is trying way too hard to be quirky and shocking, and it's just kind of coming with that whole kind of, oh no, they're it's kids and they're swearing, and oh, the kid he's a serial killer, he wants to kill people, and I was just like, it's not really a big deal, not in real life nor in fiction. American Psycho.
Yeah.
I'll just drop one name there.
True.
And it feels like a 15-year-old who thinks he's incredibly like troubled and like edgy and deep wrote this, thinking that he's probably made like literally the deepest and the most complex show of all time. And even the way that it was edited and marketing, with them censoring the word fuck and having the words like comedically and in an editing base terms edit like the swear words out, I was like, is this a show for 8-year-olds? Because it feels like it feels like Baby's first like 12A rated show. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know what's going on. I mean, once again, I'll throw props at Netflix for an original show. You can have that, but it's just like, really, really pretentious, I think. Your thoughts, Reese? Because I kind of just went on a tangent there.
See, I liked the idea behind it. I
don't really know what the
I like the fact that, okay, this girl is gonna fall in love with this boy. This boy had the aims of killing the girl, and then he's probably gonna fall in love with her too. So I just like that it was a different take on like a romantic film. I won't watch the movie because I don't think it would be that great. Oh, is it a TV series?
I don't know, actually.
I thought it said original
I don't
movie,
know.
but
I don't know.
I'm not even sure.
I forget.
That's how interested we are in this thing.
That's how much research went into this podcast.
But so the idea I liked, but I won't get around to
I can understand that. I mean, it might be that the execution is done well, because for me, I've kind of seen this story done a ton of times, especially in horror films. You know, serial killer falls in love with the main victim and is torn between possibly killing them or not. It's nothing original to me, but like I said, the execution could be done well. I think the series is definitely banking on its kids swearing, and that's nothing really new for the most part, because there's films from back in the 70s where the shock value was, oh my god, this 12-year-old said fuck you. You know, it's just like nothing new, and that's why I say
we're over that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's much more disturbing things in the real world.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm not just talking about Black Mirror, because Black Mirror is pretty much like non-fiction now. Given how like what 3 of the episodes have turned out to be real now, which is quite unsettling.
Right.
But yeah, that's why they've kind of had to start doing more fantastical episodes, especially like the Star Trek one, where it was like, right guys, you're predicting the future just a bit too early, guys, because it's not gonna be,
we're not ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, most of the stuff in that series is coming big time, you know. But yeah, I don't know, not a fan.
Yeah,
obviously I don't have Netflix, so I won't be watching it, but I mean, if you guys,
nothing unique about it.
No, not for me,
different.
Honestly. I mean, you know, it just reeks of just something angsty. That's to me, I'm not really a fan of that. you know, much like some other films that Netflix have released, where it's just like, oh, who's the 12-year-old that made this?
Yeah.
You know, because that's what it feels like to me. Recess, I believe you have the next two trailers, which are almost kind of specially picked for you to some extent.
And I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, both of them are horrors. First one, Slender Man. So I was actually wondering when they were gonna release this movie, because like Slender Man's been out for how long now?
Since 2012, he's
like
achieved the mainstream populace.
Yeah. So it was cool hearing or watching the trailer. I was actually really hooked on the trailer.
Okay.
Like, I was actually like captivated. So I think the trailer was brilliant. And then like I finished the trailer, I was like, okay, what actually happened? So I love the trailer, but I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure how the movie is gonna like play out.
Well, the thing is, the trailer was very vague, and it was very restrained for a horror film, which I'll give
like it showed
props.
a lot, but it seemed to show like a lot of different segments. So it was different, and I like that.
Just from the fact, one of my favorite shots is just, I presume maybe the main character just seeing a figure in the distance, and I was like, well, that's done very well, because that's very reminiscent of the mythos of the Slender Man character, and I was just like, oh, that's actually, you know, visually that's done very well. It was kind of ruined by the jump scare, but that shot was great. I can understand why they're kind of using it for the poster. You know, I mean, but yeah, I mean, this film is 7 years too late. For me. Yeah. And there's already been like 2 kind of Slender Man films made already, kind of like low budget, obviously. And immediately when starting this trailer and I see the Sony logo, I'm like, oh, this film's gonna be bad. Because whenever you see that Sony logo, it's like, oh, this. Well, it's certainly not going to be a good film.
Yeah. You know what's coming.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'll kind of give the film some other credit as well. It seems to be taking inspiration from the web series Marble Hornets, which is kind of based on the Slender Man mythos. And for anyone who's not aware of the series, in the trailer when you see those really cryptic and disturbing black and white shots, those were you kind of see shots like that in the Marble Hornets miniseries. So they've kind of done their research. Or someone with some competency was like, okay, what is actually Slender Man? And they obviously watched this and went, hey, the best part of this series, let's incorporate that. But at the same time, you could just say they also ripped off The Ring. Because it's very much like The Ring.
True.
But like I said, I'll give them props. I give people props for trying. Yeah. You know, and it's just like, but you know, and I did like some of those visuals, especially like the nail going through the eye. That was particularly disturbing. And, you know, I kind of do like the angle of it, Slender Man being more something that's kind of in your head, which kind of brings me to like, which kind of reminds me of other kind of horror films. So maybe there might be a slightly psychological angle to it, to the point where Slender Man's probably not even real. Yeah. He might just be a manifestation in people's heads brought on by some kind of disease within the forest. Yeah. That's just my guess. But I mean, yeah, like we said, they didn't really show him, and that was like surprising for the most part. And, you know, there was a lot of, you know, interesting stuff. And I think the other problem with it was that the jump scares were just not needed and just really bad, and the CGI, obviously they can fix it in due time, was pretty piss poor, terrible. Where it was just like, oh, turning into a cartoon now, and it was
animation.
Yeah, exactly. You know, not even good animation. You know, and it got very laughable. But I mean, it's a surprisingly well made trailer to some extent.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'll give it that. Probably won't be watching this film, although you can kind of tell this is going to be one of those films where all the kids go to see and it's the scariest film I ever saw in my life. You know,
so totally awesome,
way scarier than It. You know, because I think that's going to be like a new benchmark or a new kind of sense of profit, is any kind of horror film that has kids in it, because It did kind of well despite being a mediocre film, and it was just like, yeah, you're going to see a lot more films, trust me. Hollywood's going to be like, oh,
they're going to jump on that.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Well, because you've obviously got the second film coming out next year. Oh wow. I think it's laughably called Part 2, and it's like, all right, that film's going to fail hard because it's got adults in it. Okay. And it's hard enough to find good child actors. It's still very hard to find competent actors. who are adults, because they can't cast any big names in that film. Even the guy who played the clown is now pretty damn famous, so it's going to be very distracting to see that creepy guy play the clown again.
Yeah.
So yeah, good luck, idiots. That's all I can say, really. But yeah, I mean, I won't be watching this film, but like I said, I'll hear from all the kids. It's the scariest film I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, too late though. They should have really released this in 2013 if they really wanted to profit off it. But maybe it'll bring Slender Man back to some kind of mainstream attention again. I don't know, maybe we'll have like another Slender Man craze. People dressing up as Slender Man. Oh man, it's driving down the road and this guy dressed as Slender Man just standing right there.
You never know, huh?
We'll see. And it's just I think the reason why people like Slender Man is because it's such a simple and creepy concept. It's just some possible guy with no face in a suit. Yeah. And he's just there, and it's like, oh, kind of disturbing.
He's behind you.
Yeah, that's basically what he is and what the game is. Although it doesn't seem like the film's going for that exact approach, although they did kind of confirm that in the trailer, where he was like, I'm right here and now I'm right next to you, but you know, can you see me in the awful CGI? And it was like, come on, jump scare. I can see he's right there. It's like
the thing is though, I don't know, obviously I don't know what the film's going to be like, but from the trailer I just feel they could have made it a lot better. Like, even picking up on what you were saying about psychological horror, like, if they do take that stance, then it could be quite amazing. So we'll see.
You could have a fun film for the most part, which is actually has you second guessing. Like I said, I would like it to be that Slender Man isn't even real. He's just something you see based on like delusions. Because even when the kid is like strapped in the bed, she's obviously having some kind of nightmares, and obviously someone has just found her like that, which I kind of hope isn't a reference to those two girls going out and attacking the other girl based on some kind of bizarre Slender Man religion. I kind of hope they haven't taken real life inspiration from that, because it's disgusting if they have. Then again, I didn't see that based on true events, so I don't think so. It might just be a odd coincidence. But I did read up that girl who did survive that attack from those two little cunts. She's doing well, so that's good to hear. But yeah, and next trailer we haven't. I believe you're going to cover this one.
Next trailer.
Oh yeah.
Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare, the most original title.
I swear there's a film called Truth or Dare.
There is.
There is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There is. There's like 3 films called Truth or Dare.
Damn. Truth or Dare, the truth.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, this trailer was funny.
Oh boy, was it funny. It was comedic as hell.
Very, very funny, actually. Yeah. I don't know. I think, again, the plot's interesting, and I think it could have just been a whole lot better with better actors and like better direction.
Yeah, because it's a very flimsy plot where you're gonna kind of be going, wait, what's going on? How does this work? Because I mean, let me break it down. This film is basically the combination of It Follows, Final Destination, The Bye Bye Man, and the poster from The Purge.
Final Destination.
Yeah, it's basically all those 3. All those. Well, the Purge poster doesn't count because the actual face mask doesn't really appear. But it's basically that mask face smiling thing. And I'm just like, okay. But yeah, it's literally It Follows in the sense that it's some kind of supernatural thing that is literally following people and is taking on a form, hence being those incredibly hilarious smiling faces.
Those jacked up faces.
Final Destination with it literally being, it couldn't kill you, which is still kind of goes into It Follows as well, but it seems as a bit more like, we have to do this, we have to play by the rules, you know, that kind of thing. And then the Bye Bye Man in the sense that it's just like, it's kind of banking on that whole supernatural thing being and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, Purge poster, because we need an iconic image for our horror film for some reason. And it's going to be really awkward and bad CGI on actors' faces to make them look like, I don't know, corpses or something like that. I don't know what's going on there. But it was hilarious every time it happened.
But I feel like they just try to do too much.
It seems like, it kind of does seem like too much is happening in this film. Yeah. Because I think already we have too many main characters.
Exactly.
And I mean, who's the main character? The girl? And she like kind of is somewhat aware of the game. And then obviously it's bringing up more questions of how does she figure this out? And it's like, we're going to go find the original guy, and then it's like, well, you can already tell there's gonna be a let's sit down for 10 minutes and explain truth or dare, and then we see the CGI ghost, and it's like not very good, and it's just like, ugh. I can kind of tell it's just gonna be like that, but it just got too much to a point, and like I was laughing towards the end of the trailer because it was like I can't take this seriously.
Yeah.
I cannot. I mean, this is another film coming from Blumhouse Pictures, who've brought you lots of horror films. I'm not going to say if they're good or not, but yeah, it's so weird, and I think this film is going to be so bad it's good.
Okay.
That's what I think, because it looks like it's kind of at that level of incompetency, where it's just like, oh man, I made the best horror film ever, and it's like, no. But yeah, I don't know. It was just so bizarre, and it was so wonky, and their attempts to like possibly make another franchise and make another iconic horror image is just stupid. Pretty much, because it's literally just the Purge face again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is, because Jason Blum really likes the Purge, despite the fact none of them are good films. He's like, gotta do the Purge again.
People want that.
I want that. That's what he's saying. He wants that, and this is just his way of trying to get the Purge back in to some extent. Well, what if they had really weird smiley faces, and that was the iconic thing? And it was like the idea of the visuals of a smiley face is so overdone, especially as of right now, because you have this film, you also have to some extent, you also had the Happy Death Day, which had like
of course,
smiling like baby thing, and then you have the New Mutants, which has a scene with a guy wearing a smiley face.
God, on his. I don't know what to. Sorry, I know it's another film. I don't know what to like think about that film.
When we talked about it, I didn't like it because I thought it was literally a rip-off of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Okay.
Because they were waiting. They play one song from Pink Floyd's The Wall, but there are too many visual references to the actual film and the album to the point where I think they are literally ripping it off, and it doesn't look scary.
Yeah. No.
Sorry to use this phrase again. It literally looks like baby's first horror film. There's haunted houses that look scarier than this film, and I don't think it's coming from the attention of Fox wanting to. Well, can't really say Fox anymore because Marvel technically has the rights back to X-Men. Yay! But I don't think it's them trying anything new. I think it's them just let's see what works. And just someone going, well, let's make it a horror film, and just whatever. It'll most likely be better than Dark Phoenix, because Dark Phoenix is awful. Simply put, and I don't care what people think. It is an awful story and going to be an awful film. 2 X-Men films this year.
Yeah.
2. And they won't be good. Neither of them.
I don't know what happened with them. I used to love the X-Men movies. And then the recent ones just, bah.
Other than Logan.
Yeah, see, Logan was the exception.
That's because Logan was the end. That's it. And I refuse to believe that there are any other X-Men films because it ends there.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah.
Like, New Mutants and Dark Phoenix, that's a spin-off.
Yeah.
A very bad spin-off, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know, lots of horror. Well, I wouldn't say there's lots of new horror films coming out, because we only get one if we're lucky, one good one.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that's going to go to. I can't really say what I think is going to be the best good horror film, but we shall see. But yeah, that's pretty much all the topics and trailers we wanted to talk about, because if you think we're going to talk about all that drama that's happening in the world, wrong podcast, I'm afraid, because that's not worth it, simply put. And if you are worried about that kind of stuff, don't be. There are way more important things happening in your life and the real world. So you know what? Don't worry about those people. You do you, simply put.
Just get on with it.
Yes, exactly. Don't waste your time and energy on people who are readily ready to ruin the world, basically. But that's going to bring us to our discussion, which a recess is pretty much going to be taking control of. And that is going to be your best and worst 2017, a kind of brief, shortish, to some extent, version of that. Although we have plenty of time so you can take however long you want, basically. But yeah, the previous podcast, the best and the worst of 2017, was going to be a lot bigger, going to have a lot more people, but obviously things just did not work out for various certain ways. So I think for the next 2 podcasts, we're going to catch up on everyone's list as soon as I did my one. Reese is going to do his, Ferret and Aces are going to do theirs at some point, so we'll all kind of get caught up. So I guess you take it away with however order you want to start it and go down and that. So yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, so I think I'll start with the best. Mostly music, to be fair.
Okay.
I have one movie I'd like to talk about.
Just
like one standout movie that I can remember. Get Out.
Get Out.
When was that released? Like March
I don't know.
I
don't know, because there's always like a weird window for films in terms of when they release in America, when they release in the UK.
Yeah.
So I always get confused. Yeah. To me, it seems like they've just been out for 8 months to some extent. But yeah.
But no, like I love the movie. I knew I'd like it. I didn't know I'd love it. So that was a good surprise. Again, psychological horror. So that really stuck with me. I think they're scarier than like jump scares and all of that.
Yeah, rubbish. And there was like, there's no real jump scare in the film. There is kind of one, but I think that was cut out the film.
Oh, okay.
And that's that weird shot where there's like a moving like skeleton of a deer.
It was, that was.
And that's not in the film.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like in the American version, but that's not in the film.
No.
I don't know.
I think that was rightly cut out.
I mean, yeah, because I've heard a lot of people say one of the more negatives was the jump scares. And when I watched the film, I was like, there were no jump scares. Like I'm interested. Are we stumbling on the fact that did they literally cut out the jump scares to make it a stronger film? Because it's a very good film.
Exactly.
So maybe, if you watch the trailer, that scene with the main character, with the match, and he sees that moving skeleton of a deer, I was like, oh, not in the film.
Okay.
I'm not complaining.
I think rightly, like justifiably cut out, to be fair. Because it would have just brought the movie down.
Because it's not needed.
No.
It's not needed, given what is like established and everything and that. And it's an interesting film. I mean, like we did joke about like, oh, if you don't like the film, you're racist and that was. But there are like, kind of subtle tones dealing with race, which are both dealt with in disturbing and comedic like senses. Even with the line of like the dad saying, "Oh, you know what? I would have voted for Obama a third time if I was given the chance." And stuff like that is great.
Yeah.
A great testament to like good writing and such. And it's good to see that Jordan Peele has obviously come off the success, and he's now in charge of Tales from the Crypt, I believe. Ooh. No, not Tales of the Crypt. Oh. Excuse me, Twilight Zone. I think it's either Tales of the Crypt or Twilight Zone. He's in charge of the reboot of that now.
Oh, interesting.
I think they've given it to a spot-on person.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's only done one film, but I think that's a good choice if you're going to go with anyone right now. I can't really think of anyone who is really good at horror other than the director of The Witch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because that boy needs to make more films.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He's doing the remake of Nosferatu.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just like, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect choice.
Exactly. When is that out?
I don't know. No. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it because you can't really go wrong with Dracula, simply put, and Nosferatu, Nosferatu, in my opinion, is still one of the scarier films I've ever watched.
And I've never seen it. So
you've never seen Nosferatu? No, that's an old film as well. You need to see Nosferatu.
Nice.
It's not very long, but it's like it's got some scenes that will stick with you when you're like, oh my god, this was like 1917, and it's just like that's still far scarier than some stuff you'll see today, and it's like, woof. But yeah, definitely get on Nosferatu, and that goes for everyone listening as well. If you like Get Out, go watch Nosferatu and The Witch. Official recommendations there.
Recommend the Witch. That was great.
Spelled with 2 V's, by the way. Just think, the traditional.
2016.
Yes.
Or before, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but go on. Yeah.
So unfortunately, The Witch can't make the best of 2017.
It should be on the best of 2017 list because it's that good.
Yeah, it was great.
No, forget it. Yeah, put it on there. Yeah, put it on there.
Exception. Done.
Exactly. Hey, I watched it this year, so it counts. I watched it last year, so it counts.
What else was there? So EXO Tour Life by Lil Uzi Vert. That was. I listened to it. I started off hating it, and then I heard it play in a couple clubs, I think, and I was like, no, this is a tune.
Feeling it with the bass.
Yeah, it's a banger. That one, I'm just going to list them off.
Is this an album or a song?
That was a song off of his... I can't remember the album. Part 2 of a mixtape that he did the previous year.
Okay.
But I haven't listened to the album.
It's just so people can, like, if people want to go listen to it and that, because we're not putting, like, because of YouTube's bloody limitations, we can't just list everyone's stuff in the description, so we're going to have to post that and put that somewhere else, but yeah, no worries.
So that was EXO Tour Life.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I think SZA, have you heard her album?
Yes. I haven't heard the album, unfortunately.
Great album, actually.
Yes, Control.
Yeah, very surprised by that. I hadn't listened to any of her mixtapes before, so I think this is her first album.
Yeah, this is her debut studio album.
Yeah, so it was really, really good. Standout tracks, definitely The Weeknd. And I think which she praised her fans for, because it wasn't actually a single, and then it just did like really well. Yeah,
because she, I think literally of about 2 weeks, she released a music video for it.
Yeah.
Music videos, I think the music video is bad.
It's boring. Like,
it's bad.
What?
Like,
for such a great song.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
come up with that.
I think I literally sent that to Ace, and I was like, for one of the best songs of 2017, this is such a bad music video.
I actually think so. SZA, if you're listening, you should redo the video.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Like it's like your most famous song, so like redo that music video. It's such a shame, but funny enough, The Weeknd was on my favorite honorable mentions songs, because I think it's a fantastic track, kind of coming from the perspective of the side chick, and just the hook and the line. I was like, oh, strong. It was a song that was like, when I first heard it, was like instant classic.
Yeah, right.
I need to get on the album. I've only heard a couple tracks because I wasn't able to listen to it in time. But yeah, I need to.
So
get
definitely
on
The Weeknd, and her one with Kendrick Lamar, "Doves in the Wind." Doves in the Wind.
I think I've heard that one.
Yeah, Doves in the Wind.
I think I've heard that one.
That's a great one as well.
Yeah, that one's kind of growing on me.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely kudos to her. Jay-Z's album, I don't even know how you say it, 444,
yeah,
444.
Just 444.
I liked. I was hyped because I kept seeing the poster on my way to work. So I was like, okay, I'm finally going to listen to it.
That iconic image of orange background with 4.44, yes.
Right.
Classic.
But I think the album as a whole, like just the story that he's trying to put out, was really interesting and cool. I guess you could say a different side to Jay-Z.
Yeah, it is. I haven't heard the whole album, but from the songs I've heard and from what he's saying and what he's kind of coming at things, it is very interesting, very different from a rap album. He's kind of coming from a very knowledgeable introspect, not in the sense of, man, I know everything, but more in the sense of, right, this is kind of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the music videos for a lot of his stuff are very interesting as well. Like, I particularly liked the music video for Moonlight.
Okay.
Where he basically did
and
this.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's weird. He does like this bizarro remake of an episode of Friends.
Oh,
where like the whole cast is like black.
Yeah.
And it was weird.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil what happens in the music video, but it's very weird. But it kind of says an interesting thing, and even the fact that the song ends just with the whole like, and the winner is Moonlight. And I was like, ooh. But very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Jay-Z pulling it back, bringing back his career, despite the fact he's not as popular as he used to be.
Right, yeah. That's one question I have though about Jay-Z's music videos in particular. Are they just released on Tidal, or
no, they're on
can
YouTube.
you check it out on YouTube?
They're on YouTube.
Because I tried to watch Family Feud, that video.
That's
only released.
I've watched those two, and The Life of OJ on YouTube.
Okay,
they are on YouTube, not unless they've bizarrely been taken down again.
Right.
But yeah, they were officially uploaded.
Good. I'll get on that.
Yeah, do.
What's
next?
Miguel's album, War and Pleasure. Granted, I only started listening to it yesterday, but it came out a couple months before, I believe, or a few weeks anyway. But no, it was fresh. It was cool. It was interesting. I don't
think I've ever heard any song from Miguel, and my personal name for Miguel was Mr. Leg Drop, as you know.
Right?
That's how I officially know him, as Mr. Leg Drop.
It's such a bad incident.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just type in Miguel, leg drop.
Just type in Miguel. I'm sure it will come up.
Yes, exactly.
One of the first few searches.
Yes, just look up Miguel leg drop and you'll understand why he is officially in my eyes named Mr. Leg Drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
Exactly.
Oh god. I gotta watch that after we do this.
Right.
Sorry, man. Go on.
But I think so. Those are the standout best of 2017 for me.
Fair enough.
The worst. So my worst list isn't actually long. Okay. It's one incident which I'm really upset, and I have to say this.
Okay.
I'm really upset with Nintendo.
Okay.
So for my birthday, I got a Nintendo Switch.
Okay, yeah.
I opened it all up, and I was about to play Zelda. There was a dead pixel on the screen. I'm like, what? I was so hyped for my Nintendo Switch.
Didn't you say it was like in the dead center or something like that as well?
It was right in the middle, near the top, and yeah, I was not happy. So that incident has made my worst of 2017. I got a new Switch and it's all cool, but
such a downer.
Exactly, you know when you're like hyped for a console and then you get it, and then from that incident, it's just like, oh, is the next one gonna have a dead pixel?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. There's that.
Is
that
a dead pixel gonna
paranoia
come
that
within a
fear.
month or be playing it? It's just like,
you know, this is a standard. There was I know someone put together a compilation of some faulty issues with the Switch, and obviously the first batch of consoles do kind of come out a bit weird, and obviously as time goes on, they kind of like, well, you shouldn't do that. Simply put, I think Xbox 360 has like the best case scenario of that, where it was just like everyone was sending back their original 360s with the red ring of death, just killing so many of them. That's why there's like almost 4 versions of the 360. They have to make so many improvements. But yeah, that's enough to kill anyone's hype. I've experienced that a few times as well. I think my most famous example is, I think, it being my 14th birthday, really wanting the re-release of Super Mario Bros. 3 on the GBA, opening it before school, get the box, open it up, game cartridge is not even in there. I have to go to school upset. Everyone's like, did you get Super Mario Bros. 3? That's put a whole down
on the date.
It did, on my birthday as well. Obviously, my mum went back and got it, so by the time I got home, it was there. But that was like, oof. Still,
those 8 hours at school is just like,
that brings you down. You're just like, oh, you know, like, how can I show my face in school knowing that I don't have Super Mario Bros. 3 on the GBA? You know. Oh gosh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you just lose faith. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's not cool.
It's very defeating. Yeah,
yeah,
it is very defeating. I mean, I completely understand that. Do you have anything else you want to mention from 2017?
No, that's my 2017 wrapped up.
Any what do you call it? Most anticipated for 2018?
Oof. Well, I just got news that Atlanta season 2. Donald Glover's Atlanta will be released in March, I believe. So I'm happy with that. I don't know, did you check Atlanta out?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
No, cool. Recommend it. It was nice. It was good to just run through. Don't watch
the whole series?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that, Black Panther, which I don't believe you're interested in.
No.
I'm hyped for that. Avengers, Infinity War, and Incredibles 2.
Oh,
Those are up there.
Incredibles 2 is on my list, yeah. Because I'm expecting good things from Incredibles 2.
Exactly.
Because it's been 20 years.
It's been too long.
It's been 20 years since the first film.
Yeah.
And it's about time they do the sequel.
Right. I was waiting for the second film straight after the first film.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Oh, yeah, I was there because I saw one of the earlier UK premieres of The Incredibles. And I kind of remember
Where was my invite? Like,
we didn't know.
I know we didn't know each other then, but where was my invite?
I need to go back in time and just be like, yo, Incredibles. Because that's a great experience when you watch a brand new film for the first time and you were one of the first people to see it and know, oh, this is good. Because I remember coming out of there going, this is the best film I've ever seen in my life. You know, because that film was hype.
Yeah.
Especially in the cinema, that film was hype.
Yeah.
Kids were going crazy while watching that film, especially towards the end. Everyone was going nuts. You came out of that cinema rejuvenated.
Yeah. Jesus.
Pretty much. That film puts hair on your chest, man. That film's so good. But yeah, literally, I was the same. Where it was like, oh man, when's the sequel coming out? And then the next film after that was Cars, and you're like, oh,
was that the next film?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's a bit of a step down.
Right. A bit.
You're just kind of like, oh, okay, But after, like, maybe after a few more films, then we get Incredibles 2, and I was like, nope. I was like, all right then.
10 years passed, still waiting.
Exactly.
Are we gonna get it?
Exactly. Yeah. So finally it's happening. Still waiting for that general trailer. I don't know if you know, but do you know that like the film takes place right after the first one?
Right.
Ends
yeah.
Literally.
Well, that's what I think you told me that.
Yeah.
And then I looked back and I thought, okay, but is it just like a segment? Are they just gonna have like 15 minutes on that, and then you get like a little caption 20 years later? Or do you think they're all going to be the same age? Or?
They're all the same age.
Okay.
I think because I think it. Yeah, from what is it Brad Bird, who's the head of Pixar? From what he said, it literally starts where the first one ended. So they are literally fighting the Underminer.
Cool.
Who's the villain who shows up at the very end? Spoilers for a film that's 30 years old. Yeah, so they literally fight him.
And is Edna Mode?
Yeah, Edna Mode's
Is she going to be in it?
Yeah.
She's going to make an appearance?
Yeah. Because Edna Mode's voiced by the director, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Which is cool. So yeah, we should see. It should be interesting to see because obviously that should hopefully mean Samuel Jackson's going to be back.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it should be very interesting. I can't wait for this film. I don't think, unlike Finding Dory, which was a little bit of a disappointment.
It was.
Mainly
it was still enjoyable. But...
It was still enjoyable, but I think it was mainly disappointing because I had a better film in my mind.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, it's not my film. But this one should be good because, we have competent people behind it. Not to say there aren't competent people behind other Pixar films, but then again, Disney did release Cars 3 last year. So, yeah.
Did not check that out.
No one watched that. I hope no one watched that. That's not a film worth watching, in my opinion. Because Cars 2 is bad enough, and you get to Cars 2, and you're just like, oh, no.
I think I watched half of Cars 1, and that was it. I
remember.
Just ignored the others.
Trust me, I think Cars was the first film I ever watched where I remember being bored.
Ooh.
It was the first instance of me literally going, this is boring.
Damn.
And granted, that was like when I think a sibling got it on a DVD for Christmas and put it on, and I was just like, this is boring. Like the middle part is such a slog because the beginning's like great, the first 15 minutes you're like, oh man, car racing, and the ending is enjoyable as well, but the middle part you're just like, oh my god. It's also kind of like one of the more ironic films ever because it's about fast cars and then like no one goes fast. And you're just like, oh. And then the second one is like a spy film.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kind of like a spy film. And I'm like who was smoking what? Like,
how did this come about?
You ever noticed when like someone can't come up with an original sequel, it's always a spy film? It's always a spy film. When they can't think of an original film, it's always a spy film. I just make the characters spies. They did the same thing with Zoolander 2.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just make them spies because it's funny because they're dumb models.
Sure.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot. So be on the lookout for that whenever a film suddenly decides it wants to be a spy film. But yeah, that pretty much brings us kind of towards the end of the podcast. We've got to do the video of the episode, which is going to be Final Cut 2017, a movie trailer mashup. This is about 10 minutes long. A mashup of pretty much the trailers from almost every film.
It doesn't feel like 10 minutes though.
No, it doesn't because it's so entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some points off because they didn't include enough animated films and enough foreign animated films that includes anime, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to include none of that. All right, then those films count too.
Yeah.
They really
We're
do.
films as well.
as much as a lot of well-respected and pretty popular film critics don't tend to talk about and kind of write them off as just children's films, and I'm like, well, you're not really a film critic then.
Yeah.
Simply put, in my opinion, you got to watch everything. If
you're doing half your job.
I wouldn't even say half. I'd say 1/8. To be honest, if your top 10 consists of mainstream trash, then you probably didn't watch a lot of films nor deserve the title of film critic.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of people who come under that. But yeah, really good video. good use of editing, actually able to make the worst of films actually look competent compared to others, which is very surprising for the most part. But yeah, so definitely enjoy that. Like we said, it's about 10 minutes long, so make time for that. Not that it should be too bad. And that brings us to the end of the podcast. But before we kind of end it off, I just want to kind of once again say, if you guys want to keep up with me in terms of all the videos that are going to be uploaded and all the things that I'm currently doing, you can follow me on Twitter at The Angry Raccoon. That's Raccoon spelt with only one C, just in case you're kind of confused. And obviously, just a reminder, if you guys want to be super cool and go and support the new channels for the stuff that you want to see, being that is Raccoon's AV Club and Raccoon's Media Club. So go subscribe to them. There's nothing on there right now, but there will be very, very soon. So yeah, anything else you would like to add to the podcast, Recess, before we wrap this up?
No, just Happy New Year again.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And thanks for the invite.
No worries, and thank you for coming on once again to do this podcast. Should be good. We'll definitely get Ferret and Ace will be back. Hopefully the next podcast, they'll, like I said, possibly doing their favourites and that. So it probably will be a smaller in terms of topics podcast. As obviously this podcast is very short. We want to keep them short because this year I really want to build an audience with the stuff we make, because I think there is an audience there, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So I think if podcast needs to be a little shorter to get more people to join in the discussion and join the club, as I guess you could say, then so be it. But yeah, thanks once again for being on the podcast, Recess. Where we're kind of recording this we're recording it slightly earlier than we usually do, mainly because we're recording it a day before a special event that's happening after the podcast goes up, and also because we got some planning to do after this, which we can talk about later. So yeah, it is kind of a special podcast in some sense. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I was the Angry Raccoon,
and I was Recess,
and we will see you on the next podcast.
See you later.
All right, laters, guys.